What is going on, guys? So Rockstar's given us some more information for the upcoming summer DLC, including a release date, its name, artwork, short trailer, and more. I'm going to be breaking all that down in this video, including some details that you may have missed. In any case, let's get right into it. This DLC is releasing this coming Tuesday, June 25th, and is going to be called the Bottom Dollar Bounties. The artwork, like all others, includes some new content and characters coming in the update. Starting at the bottom left, we have two new vehicles. One of these is the overflawed Pipistrello, a new supercar based off of the Italian hypercar Fulmina. Rockstar already announced this vehicle, and it's going to be free for GTA Plus members, and they're also going to receive it a week before all regular players. Next to it is a new benefactor vehicle that resembles the Mercedes-Benz W124 E-Class. There are two female characters in the background. Now, one of these characters is Maud, who is a stranger and freak from story mode who gave Trevor bounty missions. Next to her is apparently her daughter Jeanette, which are going to be working alongside her to tackle bounties across Los Santos and Blaine County. Notice there are characters wearing new clothing that was previously seen in the last tease article for this update. There's a new top that reads Bail Enforcement Agent, as well as a badge necklace which reads Bottom Dollar Bail Enforcement. There's another look at the new stun gun tint, which is a Bottom Dollar Bail Enforcement tint. You can actually see that lettering printed on to the stun gun. There looks to be what may be a modified Class A burrito, which we're going to use to transport our bounties in. Also notice there's armor around the driver's side window, suggesting it may come with this, or this is an optional upgrade. And lastly, there's some NPCs in the background that look to be having their mugshot taken. Now, it is interesting that the guy to the left is wearing a pump and run gymnasium tank top. This is an actual gym in Rockford Hills. And it would be super cool if Rockstar would open it and allow us to go in and work on our characters' bodies. However, I think that is super far-fetched, and it's much more likely that they just put this tank top on this guy because he is buff. Nonetheless, I know a lot of players have been wanting a change like that for years. Moving into the trailer, we get a look at the outside of the Bottom Dollar Bail Enforcement, and this is located right across from the Mission Row police station. There's also a screenshot included on the newswire with a closer look outside of the Bottom Dollar Bail Enforcement building. This appears to be the same location just outside Mission Row Police Station. There also is a player leaning against what looks to be a modified Class A burrito, the same one seen in the artwork. Notice how this time it has armor around the windshield. It's also worth noting there is a VI on this player's tattoo, which may be a subtle reference to GTA 6. There are some scenes that look to take place inside of the Bottom Dollar Bail Enforcement building, likely during the intro. There are two where it looks to be a player meeting Maud's daughter Jeanette for the first time, where she is shaking their hand and looks to come outside of a room, possibly her office. There's also another scene where we can get a better look at the room behind her, and there looks to be like a stereo in there, which typically we can use to change the radio station. Could this mean that this is possibly going to end up being our personal quarters? It'll definitely be interesting if we are able to spawn in this property, or if it's strictly just a business one, similar to the MC businesses. There's also some scenes including Maud, who's also likely going to be helping out with the Bottom Dollar Bail Enforcement business. There's a scene where you can see her working on what looks to be an Excel spreadsheet. There's even a person on Twitter who recreated this to give even a better visual. The spreadsheet includes client ID, reference number, priority, payment status, and bond progress. The priority, payment status, and bond progress is probably the most interesting. Priority may be suggesting certain types of difficulties when bounty hunting, similar to Red Dead Online, where when you go to a bounty board, typically the more dollar signs a poster had, the more cash you would make, and it would possibly affect its difficulty. Payment status, likely whether or not the bond was paid, and then bond progress, whether they've been released or incarcerated. There's another scene with Maud that gives us a broader look at the inside of the bail enforcement building or office. Notice that there are some cameras to the right of her, which we will likely be able to use, like many other properties. There's some additional desks and computers behind her, which may be used for other types of business activities. And in the very back is the jail cell, which we will be placing our bounties in once captured. And speaking of placing captured bounties inside of that jail cell, there is a scene where we get to see a player doing that. Very similar to the bounty hunting animation in Red Dead Online of throwing a person into a jail cell in one of the police stations. Also notice this NPC does seem a little scuffed up. Maybe that's from us beating him up to get him to surrender. And also take note, there are some NPCs working on those additional computers and desks. They were in between Mod and the jail cell. It was definitely interesting if this is a business upgrade, if it has anything to do with the bounty hunting, or maybe sort of a side part of this business. Maybe they're involved with tracking down bounties, maybe even speeding up the process. Obviously, only time will tell. Now, considering the bounty missions and how they may play out, we get a look at what may be one type of variation. In fact, this is very similar to one in Red Dead Online. There's a scene where we have what looks to be a prison bus smoking with a dead guard in the background, as well as a character analyzing a prison jumpsuit on the ground. We may have to do some tracking down work. Now, Red Dead Redemption 2, that consisted of literally following a track. Now, whether or not that actually plays out the same way in GTA Online, as of now, we're not sure, but that's definitely a possibility. We also get another look at what again may be a modified Class A burrito. It has the light bar on the top, which will likely function with the high beams. There's even another scene in the trailer that shows players being able to hang off of it. And lastly, in regards to the bounty hunting, we have a scene where there's a player with an NPC with their hands either handcuffed or tied behind their back. And it looks like they're inside of an interior. Now, this could be where we capture the bounty, or I could see maybe this being an addition to the bottom dollar bail enforcement building, maybe an upgrade for us to apprehend and store more bounties. Of course, at this point, that is pure speculation. Now, there is another portion of this update where we're going to be using new law enforcement vehicles and off-the-books dispatch work for LSPD officer Vincent Effenberger. Now, 3 of these law enforcement vehicles are seen in the trailer, and they're not exactly new ones, but rather police variants of existing vehicles in the game. These include the Bravado Greenwood, the Class A Impaler SZ, as well as the Bravado Dorado. There seems to be some brand new police liveries applied to these vehicles, as well as at least 2 to 3 new light bars, one of which is sort of the famous bubblegum light bars that some people may refer to them as well as even the vision type of light bar, which was seen in GTA 4 on the LCPD police cars, except this is a blue and red variant. Now, despite none of the police vehicles being actually new vehicles to GTA Online, there are 2 in the trailer that haven't been seen yet. This includes one that appears to be based off the Hyundai N-Vision 7.4. We get a side view of it, as well as a front look. And the second appears to be a new Enos vehicle, resembling that of the Bentley Batur, specifically the hardtop version. Apparently only 18 of these were ever made. The new overfly Pipistrello is also seen a handful of times throughout the trailer and also in the artwork, which again has already been announced to be coming in the DLC. And if you're curious about the other vehicles seen in the trailer, they are all existing ones. However, 3 of these are supposedly going to be able to be upgraded with the drift tuning kit with the launch of this update. This includes the Ubermacht Sentinel Classic, Ubermacht Cypher, and Volker Nebula Turbo. And the other vehicles seen in the trailer that are also existing ones include the Mule Custom and Vapid Contenders. Rockstar finishes off by stating that there are going to be new drift and drag races in the Rockstar Crater, a host of new vehicles, experience updates, and tons more, all arriving in GTA Online throughout the summer and beyond. And some of these updates, such as like quality of life ones, were mentioned in the last news hour article. And I'll leave that video at the end of this one if you're curious on what some of those were. And once again, this DLC is releasing on June 25th for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC players. In any case, guys, that is everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it extremely beneficial. If you did, please drop a like and consider subscribing. As always, have a great day.